What story are you telling yourself about making changes in your life? What's going on, guys? Dr. Schilling bringing you a little bit of insight today. I'm trying to drip as much of this as I can from what I took away from the Dispensa meditation retreat that I was on a couple weeks ago. So many things taken away from that. It's hard to even compress it all down into these small bites, but I wanted to kind of give these analogies that are helpful to expand your consideration of what's possible, because all of us make decisions every day. And oftentimes, if we're not conscious about things, we're literally operating like a memory of the past. It's just like Groundhog Day. And if you haven't seen Groundhog Day with Bill Murray and Punxsutawney Phil, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so I want to propose an idea. Okay, so we want to flip the script here. We want to have an opportunity to say, what if you imagined your life and you were the scriptwriter? What if you were both the character and the scriptwriter? What if on a daily basis you got to choose what your day was going to look like? And if you were conscious in that moment and you were intentional every day, you wake up and you'd say, what does greatness look like for me today? What does my best self look like? How do I show up? How do I walk? How do I talk? How do I breathe? How do I eat? What's my sleep like when I'm my greatest self? How do I speak to my spouse or my kids, my coworkers? How do I speak to myself for that matter? So every day you wake up and you have this proverbial pen and you're deciding what to write. You're deciding what your story looks like. You're deciding, what do I want to write for myself today? And you can do this every day. You can do this. Let's say you get halfway through the day and you're like, oh, that script really sucks. You can scrap the whole thing and throw it away. So you are the scriptwriter for your own life. So maybe you've been telling yourself that you are actually, you are Robin to Batman. Think of any dynamic duo. You haven't been casting yourself as the lead. You haven't been casting yourself as the primary protagonist in the story, if you will. And you've been playing small. You've been playing meek. You've been shying away from challenges. You've been shying away from doing the things you really want to do. And you're always in that supporting role. And you're tired of that, but you're afraid or you're worried what's going to happen, who's going to withhold love from you, who's not going to love you if you act the way you want to act and you speak how you want to speak and things like that. These are the things you want to consider letting go of because they are going to keep you from taking the lead in your own life. And if you want to be the lead in your own life, then you have to intentionally decide what that looks like for you. And there are probably going to be some characters in your story that are going to fall away. There's going to be people in your life that are no longer relevant to your story when you decide to be that leading role. You might have even thought about staying stuck to stay safe feels comfortable. I feel like if I stay stuck, nobody's saying that if I stay stuck, I stay safe, but they say, well, if I don't change, I can stay safe. If I don't disrupt any of the things in my life, I will always be loved. Things like that. And the challenge is, you'll make everybody else happy, but you'll be living for them as well. So, if you never venture out and you never become that adventurer, that hero in your own story, or the heroine, if you will, for you ladies out there, you're never going to live the life, of your dreams. I think Thoreau said most people die quietly, having lived lives of quiet desperation, something along those lines. It's not a direct quote, but it's powerful to think about. Are you living a life of quiet desperation? And every day is not going to be fit for challenge. Some days you're going to be like, oh crap, I just don't have it in me. And that's okay. Those are the days you retreat back and you recover and you heal and you spend time thinking to yourself, what do I want to do different tomorrow? What do I want to feel different tomorrow? But I also want to encourage you to consider realizing that you can flip that script any day you want. So if you choose to flip the script today, what would that include? Would that be brave? Would that be powerful? Not in a controlling way, but you would be acting powerfully. Is that because you would be no longer stumbling over ideas or you wouldn't be holding yourself back? Because ultimately, if you want to be brave and you want to be confident and you want to be assertive, you have to see yourself in your own mind being that before you can be it in your own life. And so one of the things that we talk about in the retreat is basically mental rehearsal, spending time picturing yourself and embodying the feelings and literally seeing yourself walk through your life as your optimal self, as your greatest self, if you will. So your life is going to take twists. It's going to have plot curves, or there's people going to be in your story, out of your story. There's going to be people attacking you, the villains, and then you can be the hero, whatever you want to call it. But make the story that you're living worth watching. Make it worth something you want to live. When you look back at the end of your life and you say, man, I'm really pleased about what I did and who I became and things like that, because People don't regret what they did, they regret what they didn't do. That's like one of the most popular things you'll hear, most common things, people on their deathbeds, they literally feel like they're regretting what they didn't do, not what they did. So I just want to encourage you to consider, like the next time you are considering making a change, ask yourself the question, what kind of story do I want to write today? What kind of person do I want to be? What does greatness look like for me? What story am I writing for myself today? Because you have the power to decide what that looks like every day. All right. So are you going to live a bunch of reruns? Rerun old episodes, which if you don't choose how to be today, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if you don't choose differently, you're going to be writing the same stories you did yesterday, and you're going to be reliving the same life as a memory of the past. Okay. So what do you want the next chapter of your life to look like? What do you want today to look like? And because you can stop right now viewing this video and say, all right, my day hasn't been great so far, but what do I want to change about it? How do I want to live differently? What do I want to see? What do I want to feel? How do I want to act? How do I want to interact? How do I want people to respond to me? How do I want to respond to them when they don't respond to me the way I want them to? Okay. So this gives you an opportunity to reflect on empowering yourself, having fun, creating the life you want. Because ultimately, if we're not having fun, I mean, good Lord, what's the point, right? So I want you to decide what you want to look like, how you want to feel, how you want to act, how you want to react, and things like that. And even write it down. Go to the extent of writing it down. It doesn't have to be every day, but some days when you feel really compelled, like, oh, this is really who I want to be. This is really how I want to act. That's what I want to encourage writing down. So, who do you want to be in this life? Do you want to relive the reruns from yesterday, or you want to start a new script today? So if you really feel like this video resonated with you, I just want to encourage you to consider sharing it with someone who you think might just be living some reruns. Lord knows I have some days, maybe some weeks or months, if I'm not careful, some years that will turn into reruns because I'm retreating to my shell, I'm protecting myself, I'm avoiding discomfort, whatever that might be. But I know there's some people out there that are living life of reruns, and you're like, oh, God, I love them so much, they're just stuck. And you can't get them unstuck. They have to be pried and pooked and prodded, and they have to come to their own aha moment, okay? So let us know if there's anything you want help getting unstuck with, a belief system, a way of being, a pattern you feel stuck in, and you want to rewrite your new script, because we can help you do that. I like to tell people you're only one reset away from having a completely different life. So, get yourself reset today. But I just want to encourage you to make it a great day, and be well. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.